This is The Spot, a BYU-Idaho radio production where we talk about what you talk about at BYU-Idaho. Today we are here with
Abrielle Millet.
My name's Grace Andrus.
And I'm Valerie Coles.
Awesome. So today we kind of had some sad news. Our co-host Abby, who's usually here, is sick. So she's not on this episode today, but never fear. We're here with Abrielle and Val. Yay! And we were doing a 4-part series, which we will do, but instead today we're going to be talking about the Sunday Scaries, and we'll be continuing the series next week. So, the Sunday Scaries. Ooh.
I mean, I've never heard it said like that. So can you tell me the naming of it?
Yes. So, the Sunday Scaries, that's a name I've heard my whole life, I think. Mm-hmm. But basically, it's just a word to describe the feelings or the anxiety that you get on Sunday night about the upcoming week of school or work or assignments or difficult conversations or whatever. You might have competitions. So Sunday night, I don't know, I used to, my freshman year, I wouldn't go to bed till 2, 3 a.m. because I was I will not let the next week start. I forbid it. So I would stay up late to delay the next week, which I don't know. So do you guys have experience with the Sunday Scaries? Or am I just the only one? I don't know.
No, I've definitely felt it. Probably not growing up, but definitely in college.
Yeah.
And especially in the past year, I definitely felt a lot of anxiety before the week started, mm-hmm. just because of homework and assignments, and honestly before any big thing like a presentation, I would get stressed out. So I've definitely felt it often.
And does it happen for you on Sunday nights? Do you get a week before?
Yeah, I feel I would feel it on Sundays, especially if I hadn't spent time prepping for Monday, mm-hmm. especially Monday classes. If I hadn't done anything or things were due on Monday and I know I was going to be busy, I was stressed out Sunday.
So fair.
I feel I've experienced different types of levels of it, how you were saying when you were growing up, maybe you didn't feel it. And I feel I don't know, in a certain way I did feel it in high school. I didn't want to go to bed on Sunday or Saturday, whatever, because I didn't want the fun to end. Mm-hmm. I'm I'm having so much fun. I don't want to go to bed because I'm going to wake up and then it's back to school and daily schedule and can't play until 8 p.m. the next day. And I feel I felt that way. And then in college, I felt it more of not that I don't want to go to bed because I'm sad, no more friends. But it's I don't want to go to bed because literally if I fail at one thing this week, everything's going to crash and burn. And so anxious. And then I've had other people be I just can't feel the load again, And so I feel I've felt different levels of it where some are fun and some are more anxious, some are more sad, or I'm I can't feel that load. But I have felt it just in different types of themes of scaries.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I feel that feeling, I don't know, at least recently, my Sundays haven't felt as holy as I feel they should. Mm. I feel I come home from church, I eat snack, and then I take a really long nap, and then I wake up, and then I do all the things I didn't do on Saturday, and then I get anxious for the next week, and then I go to bed. And that's kind of where I feel it happens is when the week before or the weekend before Friday, Saturday. We were talking to our friend Ezra about this, but he was saying that what happens Friday, Saturday impacts how you feel Sunday night. And I feel that's probably true because I know that I'm not the only one. I mean, you guys feel this too, but Sunday night rolls around and it's oh my gosh, I forgot to do my laundry. I forgot to meal prep. I didn't do this assignment. I forgot to do this pre-reading or for Monday morning. It's
yeah, does it make it hard for you to sleep? Because how does it manifest for you? Is it just tension in your stomach, or do you do anything about it, or do you just sleep it off, go to bed?
Well, when I very first started college, I just wouldn't go to bed until later just because I wanted to delay it somehow more. But I think recently, if I'm feeling really stressed, I'll go to bed early. And I'm like, the sooner I'm asleep, the sooner I just
get over it and start it.
I'm like, it just starts the process. So I feel like that is probably my coping now. But honestly, I'm sure there's healthier ways to deal with it. I don't know.
I was going to say, like, what are some coping mechanisms? Because I feel like before, like a year ago, I didn't know how much I could handle and what my overload was until I remember feeling like I literally do not want to go to bed because, like, I do not want to go through tomorrow and the next day, next day. And I feel like now, well, almost until, like, you get burnt out, the coping mechanism changes into, like, I literally, like, don't care. Like, I'm just gonna go to bed late. I'm gonna sleep in late tomorrow. I'm gonna miss my class, like, which is terrible. But, like, I feel like that was my coping mechanism, like, last semester. Where I was like, I'm so tired, and I'm like, I have to do all these things, and so I'm gonna keep my peace and just, like, I'm just gonna miss my class. Grace knows we had a class together at 7:45, and I went like 50% of the time.
Oh yeah, and I went the other 50% of the time.
So we never saw each other.
We never saw each other.
But, like, I was like, I can't. Like, I have so many things I have to do, so, like, I'm just gonna miss class, or, like, I don't want to go to class tomorrow. I'm like, so I just won't. When that's not healthy. And now it's like, oh, I was set my schedule, and now it's like, I'm gonna go to bed early, gonna wake up early, and so right now I feel like I'm in a healthier mindset. But I feel like I've gone through two, where it's like, I'm so scared I don't want to go through it, but I'm going to wake up tomorrow and I know I'm going to do it because that's just who I am, to the point where it's like a second coping mechanism where it's like, I don't want to do it, so I'm not going to do it. Yeah, it's like, I don't want to do it, so I'm not.
Yeah.
And, like, so it's like not scary anymore because I'm just not going to do it, Which is terrible, but, like
I have agency. I just won't be stressed.
But there's both, I guess, but there's better ways. I know.
I mean, I feel like there's truth to it because sometimes feeling stressed about something when you can't do anything about it, it's not worth it. So sometimes, like you said, it can be good to release it and recognize that maybe it's not something you need to be stressed about in that moment. So in some ways, I feel like that's a good method. I feel like if I'm super stressed and anxious about something, for me, how I deal with it is I do it because I am often more anxious if I'm not doing it. So, like, last semester, I would do so much homework, and I mean, probably like an unhealthy amount, but it's literally because I would feel less stressed if I just sat down and did it. Which is like an extreme other side.
Which, honestly, that might be like a side effect of the frontal lobe developing, like, just the ability to be like, I'm stressed about this, I'm gonna do something about it.
Grace is like, what?
I was like, I've not unlocked that achievement yet.
We're the same age.
I know, you would, like, literally we're the same age, so
that's funny. You're like, I haven't developed
that,
but I really like that. I feel like I've kind of learned, like, what's the percentage of success rate I want to have, and that's worth my stress. And so, like, last semester I was like, maybe I'll be a nurse. I'm crazy. And so I was like, I'm going to take the nursing prereqs. And so I took like 2 of them. And in the beginning, I was like grinding. I was like, I'm going to set my schedule. I'm going to wake up at 6 a.m. I'm going to do all my things. I'm going to study and be done at 8 p.m., come home, go to bed, whatever. And yeah, I was getting good grades in my assignments. I was getting like A's, whatever. I was getting my exams good. I was going to tutoring and putting in all this effort. But it got to the point where I was like, I didn't want to wake up the next day. I was like, I don't want to go to school on Monday because I physically can't carry all these things. And so I'm like, okay, well, what if I'm willing to get a B on my test or a B on my assignments? Like, is that good? I'm like, cool. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I think honestly that's worth dropping 6 hours of like studying or like not like losing sleep, And so I was like, okay, I'm willing to change my success rate instead of 100% giving my 100% the whole entire week to I can be 80% successful this week and save myself a lot of sleep and stress and anxiety and actually enjoy my week. And I'm still a good student.
Yeah. And you're having fun. And you don't.
Yeah.
And, like, Sunday nights aren't, like, the worst night of the week.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is fair. I feel like I've experienced that, too, where I'm like, what is the opportunity cost for an A in this class? Like, am I really willing to pay this? And it does kind of, like, pile up the night before. And you're like, okay, am I protecting my peace? Or am I going to stay up? True. Or am I going to do all of the things I need to do? I don't know. It's hard.
There's like a balance to it because I think one of the things that makes it feel super overwhelming and scary is if you know you have things coming up, but you don't know what those things are.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I often would write things down. So if I knew what was expected of me coming up, then it made it easier. If I could physically write it out and see it, then a lot of the anxiety towards it was kind of like removed because I was mentally prepared for it.
Oh, that's honestly fair. I think you're right. I think that's where anxiety kind of like loves to thrive, is in that space of, I know I have things coming up and I don't really know the next step in that thing. So I think that's why Sunday nights or Saturday nights, or like whenever before something is happening, is just like anticipating something you don't quite know or like understand. And so it's like, oh my gosh. And then, but yeah, I think you're right. I think the more we learn, the better it is to handle whatever's coming. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So Sunday, you're nervous, but on Monday night, do you still feel that? Or is it completely like all the stress you felt, regardless of the future, like days coming up, is it completely like not stress?
That's a good question, because I feel like after I wake up Monday morning, I'm like, I'm in. Like the week has started and I'm on this ride, and I can't get off until Friday at 5 p.m. or 5:30 or whenever. So I feel like, I don't know why, but for some reason Sunday nights don't, like, as soon as it's over and I wake up Monday morning, I'm like, well, here we are, you know? But I don't know. Like last night was really stressful for me, and it's Thursday. So I don't know.
Like, I'm still locked in technically.
I'm like, wait, I thought this was supposed to go away.
I know. That's hard. I feel like for me, it's like if I do a good job, which is kind of weird. Like, I kind of want to mess up in my day. So I'm like, okay, I messed up and actually everything's fine. But when I do everything perfectly on Monday, I followed my schedule, went to bed, I did my work, I got to all my appointments on time, I turned in my assignments. Then I go to bed, I almost go anxious because I'm like, okay, I have to repeat exactly this. And there's no outside factors that can come and like mess me up. And if it does, and you don't know. And so like, I almost get more stressed on Monday if I do things well. Cause I'm like, I have to keep the streak going.
Oh, it's like
that's my thing. And so there's something that I learned. We read like the 7 Habits of Effective People in a class, whatever. And there's something about like your circle of influence and your circle of like control. And there's lots of things that you can control, and there's lots of things that will influence your life. And so I think for me, I need to sometimes focus, like, these are things that I can control. I can go to class, I can participate, I can do my assignments, I can put in my 2-3 hours of studying, and everything on the influence side, that can be really like anxious because you don't know. But I think it's okay to almost allow things to kind of, I don't know, rattle you up a bit, to learn how to control it and move on in a healthy way. But I don't know if that makes sense. That's something.
No, that makes sense. My dad used to do this with me because I'd get anxious for the day before, and I'd be like, but what if this happens? And he's like, okay, what if it happens? Like, let's play it out.
True.
Like, what if you do miss this appointment, or what if you don't perform as well as you were hoping? Then what happens? And I'm like, okay, well, then I get a bad grade. And he's like, okay, what happens when you get a bad grade? And I'm like, well, then I have to do like this makeup work, or then I have to do this. And he's like, okay, then what happens? So he kind of like follows me all the way down. But I think you're right. Like, when we give ourselves like grace and forgiveness earlier, it's a little bit easier the rest of the week.
I like that.
Then if you're like, expect perfection, and then you do it almost in a way, and then it's like,
shoot, I did that.
how do I do this again? There's a no
I know.
way. So I think that's fair. That makes perfect sense to me. But
When you say like knowing the scenarios that could come out of it, I think that's like a super good idea, because it can feel like stress is, if I'm saying this right, stress is kind of the same as like physical pain, where it's the same kind of response in your body. So sometimes you have to tell yourself like, you're not gonna die. Like, this is not the end, even worst case scenario.
Yeah.
And that can relieve a lot of stress. And like you said, preparing, like, if this happens and this happens, then you understand like it's okay, no matter like what, and then it's easier the next day.
Yes. No, I don't know. I think it's very smart. I had like a stress dream about my wedding because I'm wedding planning, and worst case scenarios happened in my dream. And so then I was telling my aunt about this, and she's like, well, at least you know now, like if all that happens, it's going to be okay. I'm like, right. Okay. Yeah, sure. But no, I think it's a good way to like kind of prepare for worst case so that you're feeling a little bit better, you know. I was doing research on like the Sunday Scaries as like a term, but basically just like anticipatory anxiety. Is anticipatory a word?
Anticipating
Anticipating anxiety.
Is that a word?
Anticipation.
Anxiety about like just things coming. I don't know.
Sure.
Anxiety,
I'm like, I don't know.
anticipation. Yeah.
But it just like some symptoms is like fatigue or like feeling paralyzed, not feeling like you can do anything, feeling like out of control, those things. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So when those things happen, what do you guys do? Like either to get over it, like kind of like I was saying, like thinking of the worst case and then moving through that worst case and moving through that until you find. But like, what do you guys do on Saturday? What do you guys do on Friday if you do anything?
I think something that I do is, well, the biggest stress I think is often schoolwork right now in my life. And so I do assignments on Friday and Saturday. You know, that makes it easier, especially if you have things on Monday or Tuesday. So that's something that I do. Like I'll spend time when I have time to do it. And that, I think that helps combat that feeling of stress or the Sunday Scaries.
Bro, that's so real unless you have a professor who's like, this assignment's due 8 a.m. Monday morning.
That's
and I'm
not
like,
real.
Me and Grace? No.
no, it's real.
And it's posted like Saturday at 8 p.m.
What?
It's real. And then you're like, awesome.
That's when I'm like, I'm not doing it.
Oh,
protecting my peace.
I know. Literally. Bad idea.
No, but I like what you're saying. Like just doing the work on Friday and Saturday. It's so hard for me though, because in my head, a due date is like the date that I'm going to do it. So if it's due 11:59 Saturday, I'm doing it 11:58 Saturday. That is how I live my life, which
maybe you should live it differently.
Abrielle.
no, I
Straight
think
up.
you're right. Like, I think that's probably fair.
Or something like, if it's very hard to do it, do it with someone else, you know? If you have
Like
people
body
doing...
double.
Yeah, if you're... if someone else is in that class and they're doing that same assignment, do it at the same time.
Yeah.
Misery loves company.
Bro, so okay, wait.
That was good.
I did actually see this trend on Instagram that's like, it's like, how long does it really take? And what they do is they like pick tasks that they've been procrastinating and then they time them. So they're like, okay, I've been procrastinating doing my dishes. Let's see how long it really takes. So then they time it and it's like, it only took me 15 minutes and I've been procrastinating for 3 days. You know what I mean? And so
Real.
I actually did that over the weekend. It was awesome. I was like, okay, how long does this really take? And I had fun with it. So I think you're right. And then body doubling is a thing where you like work with someone who's also working, and that helps too. But
Yeah. I was going to say, I feel like going back to the levels things, like I think people who are like anxious, like perfectionists, and then let's say like hard workers, I feel like they all need different types of, I don't know, methods to prepare themselves for Monday. Like their Sunday Scaries look different. Hard workers are like, okay, I gotta lock in, I'm ready to grind, like work super hard.
Let's go.
I know, literally. Anxious people are like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna die. Like literally the world's gonna crush me. And then perfectionism's like, if I don't do this right, like I'm gonna hate myself, you know? And so like there's different types of, I think, methods, and I think whoever goes through it needs to figure out their own. And I feel like mine, sometimes it is hard working. I'm like, okay, literally I'm actually fine. I have no anxiety, I have no perfectionism. I just don't want to do it, you know? And so I need to set aside time to just do my homework and just to sit down and focus and not get distracted, or go with a friend and do it. But if you're like a perfectionism and you're like, I have to get like everything right, I need to do everything correctly, I need to be good, like my worth kind of reflects on the week. I would like, because I've gone through that too. Like last year I burnt myself out just doing so many things at the same time, and I just didn't know who I was. And I had to go out and like play. Like on Saturdays, like everything's gonna be fine if I put everything on the side, but like I need to go play and have fun and go play volleyball and go play soccer and go swim and go laugh, because that's gonna reset me for the next week. That I'm still a human, a person.
Yeah.
And if you're anxious, and it's like, hey, write down your anxieties of what it is, what can you control, and what's something that you're just going to have to face when you get there, and kind of go through those scenarios, like the what ifs, kind of be like, so what if that happens?
Yeah.
Can you go through it? And at the end of the day, you're gonna be like, actually, I can't handle that. It's like, awesome.
Yeah, I think what you were saying reminded me of is in your prayers, like instead of saying, please, Heavenly Father, help me do everything that I want to get done, you kind of like instead ask for guidance of like, please help me get everything that thou wishes for me to get done. And then just trusting that like, as long as you're working hard and just staying in tune with the Spirit, that everything you accomplish, the people you talk to, I mean, obviously there's due dates and things just have to be done, but like trusting that the Lord will guide your efforts and like help you in that way too. But I think you're right. I think like every single person has a different way to like prepare for the upcoming week, at least. And I think playing on Saturday is huge because we were also in a class together called Intentional Creativity, fire class with Brother
So
Kerr.
good, actually.
But he talks about how your capacity to do things grows when you give yourself space and time to be creative, or just like kind of to mindlessly play outside, or just do everything and not have like a task or a purpose behind everything. So I believe that. I think that when you give yourself time to, I don't know, go on a walk in the park, chat with a friend, meditate, that your capacity in the week also grows because you're like nurturing yourself.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's beautiful.
She's like, I feel inspired.
Wow.
Yeah, fresh coming from me, the one who's like the most.
Yeah. I would also say, like you said, chatting with a friend. I feel like sometimes you just need to talk through it. If you're stressed about something and you're like stressed at night and you don't know why, sometimes just talking it through helps you understand maybe why. And yeah, and that definitely helps. It's just, and maybe they're stressed about it too.
Yeah, I really like that because I feel like my Sunday Scaries have decreased since like a couple semesters ago when I was super stressed. And then now I have a friend who's in the nursing program, my roommate, Abrielle Brown. Shout out.
Shout out.
I love her. She's awesome. But she's like up to like 1 a.m. with me like on Sunday. And I'm like, I have nothing to do the next day, Like I just have one class. But she has to wake up really early. And she'll mention often it's like, I literally don't want to go to bed because I know I'm going to have to start the next day and work so hard. And I'm like, whoa, like I forgot I was even feeling that like 2 semesters ago. And I'm like, I wish I vocalized it more with my roommates or with some close friends to understand that I wasn't alone and that I'm not crazy for feeling this. I'm not, weird for feeling overloaded. And I think there's something about sharing your load with other people and them relating to you where you're like, oh, okay, so I can do this because you're also feeling that way. I'm not like crazy feeling super stressed.
No, I think it's so smart to talk to somebody, or at least to get some perspective too. You know what I mean? Because sometimes after I say out all my anxieties, I'm like, I'm nervous about this, and this. And then my friend's like, okay, well, you can't control these things, but we can talk about these things. And I'm like, oh yeah, I can be chill. This is so chill. But I also saw this thing, which I'm sure it works because Jesus Christ also does this. But when he talks about how if you're feeling anxious or overwhelmed, it's because you're kind of consumed in what you have going on, to step outside of yourself and serve someone else on a very small level or a very huge level, whatever you're able to put in time, that can kind of help you step outside of your situation and then be like, oh, I can be chill. This is chill. But
yeah, it definitely puts in perspective helping another person. And yeah, I would have to agree. I think that helps, talking to someone, serving someone, planning out what you need to do, going to bed, all the simple answers.
No, meditating, going outside, journaling. Literally, it's been the same things, I feel like, my whole life. Don't doom scroll for hours. Don't do that. That will not help.
But it exists when we were kids. That's crazy.
Don't binge a show. Don't do that. It won't help.
Enjoy a show.
Enjoy a show, yes. But don't do that self-sabotage, binging show watching,
Like 20 episodes just by yourself. You're like, I need that.
I'm like, wow, that was good. I just ran a
You
marathon
didn't.
in minutes.
I know.
5 times.
Seriously.
Well, before we close, what's like one piece of advice for someone with Sunday Scaries, or maybe one thing you're going to take home and be like, okay, I'm going to start implementing this so I can help myself or help somebody else?
I think one thing I really liked that you guys talked about was being playful, like having creativity. So I think if you're stressed, giving time to relax and enjoy yourself, and then working hard.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Do you know what you're going to do?
No. No, I don't.
Oh, well.
But I'll keep you updated.
Stay tuned, listeners. Just kidding.
That's funny. I want to plug a quote that Grace actually said in our intentional creativity class. And she said that basically she was capturing the rest of our teachers' kind of thoughts, and that hyperproductivity, creativity is like the answer to hyperproductivity. I don't know if that makes sense, or if that's what you said, or just what I felt from the Spirit. But I think it's true. Like, if you want to be hyperproductive, or you want to be productive, just period, the way to get there is through creativity. And I think a lot of us, especially our generation, we want to be productive people. We want to be doing all these things. We want to be growing. We want to be doing businesses, becoming our best self, and having the best routine. And that's just like in our blood, just because that's who God has sent us to be down here for, and the kind of disciples he wants us to be. And so we have that in our hearts, that we want to be productive. We want to give our best. But to do that, you have to set aside time to create. And that's something else the Lord has commanded us. Create in your life, create relationships, create time for yourself to ponder and meditate with the Savior in your scriptures, create time for you to rest, And so I think, the biggest thing is figure out what type of anxiety you're having during the week, what it is, and set aside time with the Lord to just create, to be able to be more productive during the week.
I think that's fair. Mm-hmm. I think my advice would just be to partner with the Lord in preparing for your week, and trust that everything that you do in the week is all that you could do, and is all that is expected of you. That's it. Because if you could do more, you would have done more. Mm-hmm. And I think trusting, don't letting that you know what I mean, justify less and less, but just trusting that can inspire you and push you further than you could have gone before. So thank you guys so much for sharing.
Of course.
No, you guys are awesome. I feel like it was a good episode. Okay. You've been listening to The Spot, a production of BYU-Idaho Radio. Today's hosts were
Abrielle Millet,
Grace Andrus,
and Valerie Coles.
The views and opinions of this podcast are not that of BYU-Idaho Radio or the university, and are solely the opinions of the hosts. Our theme music is Finding Happiness by DJ Quads and The Perpetual Ticking of Time by Artificial Music. Subscribe to The Spot, available on all music streaming platforms, or visit our website, byui.edu/radio, and click podcasts. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at BYUI_The Spot. Have a topic in mind? Leave us a comment and let us know what we should talk about next. Bye.